Dallas has just been on a tear. I believe we can attribute that to Jason Robertson. Also, Jake Ottinger, who's really stepped in.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler. Hayward's absence for this game will be significant, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns into a blowout as of late.
The Golden Knights just can't pull it. I really think the Avalanche are determined this year.
They made so many moves and grabbed so many guys that they have to win a championship or at least make the finals. They were on our championship and bust.
The same self, the only year he won an MVP was the year he cheated, which really should put something against that MVP. But
Yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
Hello, I am Ruby Ackerman, and you are listening to Outsider's Opinion with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. Today, we will be talking about the new NFL head coaches and then giving a ranking of who we think has the best record this upcoming season, similar to a video we did with the NBA. And then if the coaches are tied for records, then it will go to reverse draft order. So basically, whoever has the lower draft pick or picks later in the draft will get the tiebreaker. They will have the better record. So we're just going to list off the new NFL coaches, and we'll just do it right now. Josh McDaniels, Raiders. Kevin O'Connell, Vikings. Lovie Smith, Texans. Nathaniel Hackett, Broncos. Mike McDaniel, Dolphins. Dennis Allen, Saints. Matt Eberflus, Bears. Doug Peterson, Jaguars. Brian DeBoll, Giants. Todd Bowles, Bucks. There's no real order to that. We'll talk a little bit about it, but I think we'll mostly talk about how we feel about these coaches through our rankings, Austin. But a lot of names, a lot of surprising names, especially I would say Lovie Smith, because I believe his last head coaching job was with the Buccaneers a few years ago when they had Jameis Winston.
yes,
The first few years, and then it was like someone else, and then it was Bruce Arians.
it was Dirk Curter or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Coder or something like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. But I think you can start with your rankings, and we'll talk about more how we feel.
At number 10, I have Brian DeBall. I don't think the Giants have their QB of the future right now with Daniel Jones. I'm not that confident in their team overall. Saquon refuses to stay healthy. I'm a little wary about their defense, and I don't think that they have enough for them to do well this season. So I have them. Well, I guess I have Brian DeBall at 10 because I feel like the Giants will be the worst of these 10 teams.
Okay, and then Dirk Cutter, you are correct, was the guy before. I just want to make sure we got that. So you said Brian DeBall is your guy at 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my guy at 10 is Lovie Smith. I'll talk about Brian DeBall when we get to him. I have Lovie Smith here because I'm just not sure about the roster of the Texans compared to the other teams and Lovie Smith as a coach, because that was a hiring I questioned. Because I felt they were fine with Caldwell, or I can't remember. I didn't really understand of the firing of their coach, David Culley. Pretty sure.
Well,
Yeah,
apparently they had a disagreement about what they wanted to do in the future. But I thought Coley didn't deserve to be fired. But
yeah,
still.
I didn't deserve it. I didn't think he deserved it as well. And just bringing in Lovie Smith surprised me. So I'll just go to 9, which is Brian DeBall. I think he'll just be a little bit better, but I think he's pretty low given the QB situation that he has to deal with, or the lack of certainty or future certainty of quarterback with the Giants. But I really like this addition for the Giants because I think Brian DeBall was a huge contributor to Josh Allen's development, and I am a huge fan of Josh Allen as a QB. So if he finds a guy that he likes in the draft, then I think he should do well with that QB and help develop that QB.
At 9, I have Matt Eberflus. I'm not that confident the Bears are going to do well. Justin Fields is better, but their O-line still doesn't look that great. Their defense has lost guys like Khalil Mack and some of their corners. They're just a young team. I like some of their talent, but overall, I don't think they're going to be that good. So I have them at 9, just barely beating out the Giants.
All right, so now we'll go to 8.
Yeah, and at 8, I have Doug Peterson. I feel like Jacksonville will be better than they were last year, but that's not necessarily saying all that much because Jacksonville was terrible last year. I think they'll be better than the Bears and the Giants, but I don't know how much better they'll be than some of the other teams not listed on this. So,
Yeah, so I agree. I have Doug Peterson at 8. I think having a designated QB and a QB with the talent of Trevor Lawrence gives him a push, and Doug Peterson, they made some nice moves, but I really think Trevor Lawrence is going to push them to number 8. But number 7, I kind of disagree with you earlier. You had him at 9. I have Matt Eberflus at 7. Maybe it's just like of how poorly I think the other teams are going to be. Like the Bears won't be good, but I still think they'll be better than the Jaguars, Giants, and Texans.
I have Lovie Smith at 7. I like Davis Mills. I do. I think that they have the talent around Davis Mills to at least be better than the 3 other teams before that, or three other teams before that. I think the Texans are underrated just because of what the whole Deshaun Watson situation was like. But their defense isn't terrible. They have a lot of young players, and I think they'll be better than the 3 teams previous.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Texans did make a lot of moves player wise. I'm just not sure how it all works out. Um, I really don't see Lovie Smith as a future staying with them long. Like I think maybe 1 to 2 years. That's how I feel about it. I think they'll find a different coach, but I am curious to see how Davis Mills plays because I think he did well his rookie season. But now I think we can move on to 6.
6, I have Kevin O'Connell. I'm not confident in the defense for the Vikings. I struggle to see them being very good if Adam Thielen struggles again this season. Their tight end situation is not the greatest. Dalvin Cook, if he gets hurt, their season's over. And it's a new system for a head coach. So, first time head coach. We'll see how it all works out. I, I obviously am much higher on Kirk Cousins than you are, but the talent around him I think is lacking, and they won't be that great.
Yeah, I think Kirk Cousins is he's above average. Yeah, I'm above average, but I think he's a good QB. He can help you win, but he'll also can help you lose some games. But we can talk about it differently. At this spot, I have Dennis Allen for the Saints. I'm not really sure about the Saints. I think they're going to be very inconsistent team this year, so that's why I have them lower than I have them pretty low compared to what they did. Well, they were bad last year, but they had a lot of injuries. I'm just not quite sure what to expect from them, so that's why I'm here. My next pick is Kevin O'Connell, just a little bit above you. I think the Vikings will do good. I think their offense will play well, given how they still have Justin Jefferson. I think they have a good run game, given how Kevin O'Connell comes from the Rams and their running style. But I just thought they'd be a little bit better than the Saints.
Yeah, at 5, I have Dennis Allen. We flip flop there. I think the Saints would be better just from the pure fact that I think they're a deeper team with a better defense. I think they'll struggle with injuries. Michael Thomas is back on the pup list again for like the 8th straight season, and it seems like. So I'm worried about the health of their receivers for James Winston, and how he'll perform coming off injury. But I think they'll be better than the Vikings. At 4, I have Nathaniel Hackett, the coach for the Broncos. I'm not that confident that they're going to be great out of the gate. It's an entirely new system for Russell Wilson, something that he has not had to adjust to his entire career. And they have a lot of young players on the team, so it's going to be a change of scenery, and I think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think that they're going to be a powerhouse.
Yeah, I agree. I have Nathaniel Hackett here at 4. I think they're going to have a rough start, and they may miss the playoffs. I'm not sure. I'm very questionable of the Broncos offensive line and helping Russell Wilson. I would question their wide receiving core outside of Cortland Sutton. You still have a lot of development left. And they traded away Noah Fant in the Broncos in the trade. So not quite sure about how all that plays out. But then we'll go to 3, where I have Josh McDaniel. I think they'll just be a little bit better than the Broncos, given of how Derek Carr's stayed with this team and of the offensive line, and they added the best wide receiver in Devontae Adams. So that adds quite a receiving core if you want to add tight end with um, the addition of Devontae Adams to Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller. So I'm including tight end here. Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, and then we'll see what happens with running back. But I'm very excited to see it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm surprised you said Devontae was the best wide receiver. You took until he wasn't on the Packers to say.
No, I changed mid-season when Hopkins was hurt. I thought we had discussed this. I was like, okay, Hopkins has been hurt now. Devontae Adams makes it.
Okay. But I have Mike McDaniel here. I think Josh McDaniels and the Raiders will be better, mainly because of Devontae Adams. I know Tyreek Hill is on the Dolphins, but I don't necessarily know how Tua will be able to get him the ball like Derek Carr will be able to get Devontae the ball. Devontae Adams and Carr have played together, so I'm more confident in that connection than I am with Tua and Tyreek. There's a lot of talent there with the Dolphins. I think they're definitely a playoff team. I like their defense. But this Raiders team has playoff experience already. They have a better tight end. Dusecki's good, but Waller's better. And I'm more confident in the Raiders running game than I am in the Dolphins. So I have the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel here at 3. And
Okay.
then I
Yeah, you
can
got to.
basically go into 2, and that's Josh McDaniels because, like I mentioned, I think that uh, I like this connection. And while they are playing in a much harder division, I still think the Patriots and Bills are going to be really good, and I think the Jets are getting better. So it's not like the AFC East is a pushover. And while the Raiders will lose some games because of their division, I think that they'll be the second best team according to record.
Okay, so you and I flip flop here, and I have the Dolphins here because I thought it was interesting what you said about the run game with the Raiders. You trust that more than the Dolphins. I'm kind of the opposite. I think Mike McDaniel comes from a great offensive system in the Niners, and I think he learned a lot from Kyle Shanahan. And I feel they'll do better defensively. And I think offensively, they have enough weapons to help Tua grow. So I kind of believe more in Mike McDaniel as the offensive coach because we've only seen one season or maybe like 2 seasons of Josh McDaniel doing an offense without Tom Brady. And given I forgot to mention this, I was very surprised to see Josh McDaniel had a job or got another job offer given what happened when last time he was offered a job, he left like during the courtship process once he had like picked this team. And so I thought a lot of teams would stay away from him for a while, but I think Mike McDaniel, I'm very intrigued to see how he does, and I think he'll have a better first season than Josh McDaniel. But now we can go into 1 where I'm pretty sure you and I both agree Todd Bowles.
Easily, Todd Bowles deserves another opportunity as a head coach. We both believe that. And I agree that they should have chose Todd Bowles above anyone else for that job. He's in the system. They're not going to have to change up everything. The offense is going to stay the same because they didn't lose their OC. Byron Leftwich never left. And I agree choosing Todd Bowles as a head coach over Byron Leftwich. Todd Bowles has already been a head coach before. He's older. He knows what it takes to be a head coach. And while I definitely think Byron Leftwich deserves a job, between the two of them, I prefer Bowles. I don't know if you do, but I think Bowles is the better choice for the Bucks here. And because of the Bucks, I think they'll get Godwin back halfway through the year, or maybe even before that. I know he tore his ACL, and that was a big reason why the Bucks couldn't repeat last season. They may lose Gronk. I think Gronk will be back by the time that before the season ends, and they still have the GOAT on their team. So I think they easily make the playoffs. They contend for a bye, but we'll see how that works.
Yeah, I love Todd Bowles getting another shot as head coach. I remember saying after the Super Bowl win that he should get some looks as head coach because of what he did defensively, which I think was a huge part of the win um, of their path to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. So I think it's a huge addition. I also think Byron Leftwich, like he was always going to stay in control of the offense and it'd be new, giving him new responsibilities as head coach. But Todd Bowles, he did well with the Jets. Like he had a couple good seasons, so it was just inconsistency at the quarterback position that hurt him in some areas, in some during some seasons, because Fitzpatrick was Ryan Fitzmagic. Then he was just normal Fitzpatrick another season. So I do agree Tom Brady's going to do this. And then to your Gronk comment, Gronk did say he wouldn't come out of retirement if Tom asked.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't. Tom Brady said that he was done. Many players have said I'm done, and then when Brady actually calls saying, "Hey, we're 11-1 heading into the break. I think you could push us over the edge, and we can ride this thing out one last time." And
That's
I think
true.
Rock would answer.
Yeah. I don't know if you finished Man in the Arena. I finished that, and that was a fun episode where he talked about a meeting. I'm like, yeah, I'll come. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, but that concludes it. And then I was very surprised with the Nathaniel Hackett hiring. I thought that was oh, they're gonna get Aaron Rodgers, but he stayed. But they still got a very nice QB in Russell Wilson. But any other things you want to mention about these um, quarterback or these selections for head coaches?
Nope.
Okay. I'll add one more thing about Doug Peterson. I think it'll be very interesting, and it will be interesting because he did well. He has a Super Bowl ring, and I think that definitely gives you some credibility. But depends on how you do the next few years. But I think he'll be a nice, steady influence and good influence for Trevor Lawrence. That's all I got, and that concludes our NFL opinions of the week. Let us know what you think, and make sure to check out other videos, other interviews, as we've done a couple new ones recently. And thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.